Thank you for tuning in to watch the Viking presentation. My name is Maddie McCauley. I'm a Reno-based travel advisor for Prescription Travel, a Virtuoso and Montecito Village affiliate. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Viking and how you can work with us to work with them and then create some very neat travel experience that are very unique to the Viking experience.
Thank you,
I'm gonna
Maddie.
I'll hand it over to Mario so he can kind of walk us through what Viking has to offer, and then we'll have time for questions.
Thank you, Maddie. We appreciate the opportunity. My name is Mario Herrera. I'm the Director of Business Development at Viking, and I have the pleasure of working with Maddie, Gail Smith, a Prescription Travel, and the Montecito Village Travel Agency as well. So, very excited to share the world of Viking to all of you, and thanks for tuning in. We'll make sure that we have time for questions at the end. Some of you might know Viking, some may have not heard about Viking. So, to kind of give you a quick recap of what we do here, we are now in business for 28 years. Our tagline, if you have watched our commercials or maybe received our brochures in the mail, is exploring the world in comfort. And that really summarizes what we do for our guests going on our vessels. At Viking, we believe in a small ship experience, intimate, small experiences. What you see here on the screen, it's the World Viking. We have river cruises with a small vessel here, 190 passengers only, less than 200 guests, cruising the rivers in Europe. We also have expedition cruises, 378 guests, so also very intimate. And lastly, we've expanded to ocean-going cruising, but it's still an intimate, small ship, less than 1,000 guests on those ships. So again, we are consistent. Small ships is what we like here at Viking. We're also, because of our smaller ships, we're closer to the destination, so we're all about destination experiences, cultural enrichments on board the ship as well as off the ship. We're going to be spending a lot of time in the ports in those beautiful countries that we're going to visit and really learn, really dive into the destination and the food and the people of those places that we're going to visit. Next one that makes us unique is we're very casual. There's no need to dressing up. Understated elegance is what we call it. Our guests should feel like home away from home when they're traveling with us. And that is the atmosphere. There's also the design of our ships, which we'll show you a few pictures of those in a few slides. Okay, here's the big one. And if you were on a live session, I'm sure a lot of you will be clapping for this one. We know who we are. We don't try to be everything to everyone. We are adults only. So no children under 18 on our Viking vessels. We are a mature experience for folks that really want to dive into the destination. Listen, we love our kids and grandkids. It is a different experience traveling with other people's kids. So we're truly are going to keep it at no children under 18. At Viking, the last two pillars of our brand is no casinos. We're not going to spend time in those casinos and build venues on our ships. For casinos, we are going to instead spend more time in the ports. So no casinos on any of our vessels. That is not the experience on Viking. And lastly, no nickel and diming. We are going to include everything that makes your vacation completely relaxing without overcharging for things that you might not utilize. But again, no nickel and diming. You should not be paying extra for a nice glass of wine with your meals. That's included. Which brings me to the list of inclusions. It's a long list. Wi-Fi, one shore excursion in every city with the local guide is included. It's probably easier to tell you what's not included. There are only a few items that not everyone will utilize, so we don't make them inclusive. For example, shore excursions. We include one in every city with a local guide. However, you can still customize your experience by adding optional excursions. You will have 5 to sometimes up to 20 optional excursions. If you like wines, then you can do the wine tasting experiences. If you're more interested in learning about art in the destination, we will have art museum visits. guided with a local expert. Those will be optional and those will be additional. The other item that is not included is going to be alcohol and drinks outside of the meals. We do include wine and beer with the soft drinks during the meals. Again, local wines, local beers with your dining. Outside of that, you can purchase by the glass, very reasonably priced, or you can add one beverage package, which is $27 per person per day. That makes it all inclusive, unlimited cocktails, top shelf liquor, and wines if that's the experience that you want to have. And then the last one will be gratuities. There are no tips or gratuities included. We do have an offer that I will share with you at the end that does include the gratuities for now, but typically they are not included with the Viking cruise. Other than that, everything else is included, so you don't feel like you're being nickel and diming charged for every little item for the ship. So that's the Viking inclusive value. And then I think the rock stars and the really difference in the experience on Viking will be our family on board, the staff, the crew. Our crew is made up by nationalities from 90 different countries around the world. We like to say that we hire and recruit for personality and approach, and then we train them on the Viking way, which is attention to detail, very warm and welcome, but never feel too stuffy or too rigid or too formal. We want our guests to feel like home away from home, and that's what we call it. They're our family on the ships. They are amazing. They know your name by the first night. They learn the favorite cocktails of that guest by the first evening. They go above and beyond for our guests, and they really make up, in my opinion, 99% of the Viking experience for our guests. So they're the true rock stars and make a huge difference for the Viking cruises. Now, in terms of learning and enrichment, we talked about that, but just to kind of give you a few ideas on the way of exploring with Viking, we're going to take our guests behind the scenes. We're going to have very unique, exclusive opportunities in each destination. It could be private wine tasting in Bordeaux. It could be a bicycle tour through the Black Forest on the Rhine. It will be a private windmill visit when you are in the Netherlands and you want to see the windmills. So these are all the experiences that we offer throughout every cruise here at Viking. Okay, that kind of summarizes the entire Viking experience. It applies to our rivers, oceans, and expeditions. And we are going to be able to take you all around the world. We have more than 500 ports of call. I won't keep you here for 5 hours going every single itinerary, but we're going to go over a few that are very exciting and very popular for our guests. So start off the river cruise experience. This is kind of where Viking was born 28 years ago with a small ship. I call it boutique floating hotel cruising down the rivers of Europe. Only 190 passengers. We have built state-of-the-art sister ships that make the perfect experience cruising those rivers. If you've never done a river cruise before, there are a few great advantages and unique opportunities to travel this way. For me, one of my favorite spaces to go is waking up to a new city every day, going to the Aquavit Terrace at the front of the ship, this outdoor dining, have your morning coffee, and just enjoy a brand new destination that you're waking up to. So you're so close to the destination, right? You're right there, steps away. You're in the middle of Budapest, for example, this picture. You are going to be right in the city center of Paris, Amsterdam. Huge cities were built right on the rivers. And in between, every other day, you'll have smaller villages, smaller towns that really give you a more authentic experience in those countries. With the floating hotels, the ships, they're intimate, small. There are very unique reasons why they're on a smaller side, obviously the rivers. Part of river cruising also requires us to go through locks because of the different water levels on the rivers. So the ships can only be built so long and so wide to get through the locks. This is why every vessel, it's on a smaller side, but we make a great design to make it as comfortable as possible. When you walk onto the ships, you'll see open spaces. Our philosophy at Viking is light woods, light marbles, floor to ceiling windows looking out to the destination. Also, the natural light coming into the spaces, we believe it makes it feel more airy, also more welcoming. It does feel like home away from home as we are ready to cruise those beautiful rivers. Off the ship, again, you have the expert guided tours throughout every port that you visit every day. There will be included ones and also special optional excursions that will be more focused on a specific theme. Walking tours, you also have available city tours on a shuttle. So if you have concerns about mobility, you can sign up to a more of a city tour experience and still be able to have the highlights of that destination. We do have that available in every city. Another little detail is if you do sign up to walking tours, this picture is not a great picture actually, because we have the folks really close to the guide, but you don't need to be that close to the guide because we have these nice little earpieces called the quiet boxes. We can just roam around, walk away from your guide, not too far, but walk away from your guide and just kind of explore on your own, but you still be able to listen to your guide as we are walking through those cities. So every little detail is taken care of. We make sure that you get the highlights of every destination, and it's included for the most part. Back on board the ship, a lot of our guests do have a nice experience off the ship. But on the ship as well, we have this Viking lounge and Viking bar, which is a multi-purpose room. In the evenings, of course, this is where our guests will gather for the cocktails and have a nice nightcap. We have the lounge and the dance floor. We use it as a performance as well area. So typically, once or twice per week, you will have local entertainment from the destination coming on board, and that's part of giving you the experience of that destination. That's included on every Viking vessel. And then lastly, during the days when we are cruising the rivers, we will have also workshops, lecturers to tell our guests everything about that destination, learning about the history, learning about the destination itself. So always a portion of that enrichment program that we'll give our guests. And that kind of covers the public areas on the river ships. When you are thinking about the stateroom categories and what you want to book for your trip, we have 5 different categories on those Viking ships. Explorer suites are the largest on any river vessel, 445 square footage. There are only 2 per ship, so they're going to have the wraparound balconies. They're located in the back of the ship. These have some extra amenities that come with this category, which will include beverage package already built into the pricing, as well as laundry service once per week on board. Second category from the top, still suites. By the way, the suites are going to be located on the top deck. There are going to be nobody above you, so you're on the top deck of the vessels. Veranda suite will be on the smaller side, 275 square footage, but you still have a full area, living room area separated from your bedroom. And you'll have a balcony, full balcony to step out to. I don't know if you can see it here from the picture. You can step out to a balcony, which is always great when you are cruising the rivers. And if you want to entertain your friends that are traveling with you before dinner, have a nice cocktail, you can absolutely do that with having the privacy of your bedroom, of course. There are 7 of these on every Viking vessel. Now, if you're asking me, okay, Mario, what's the sweet spot? Where do you recommend? I don't want the suites, but I do want a nice size stateroom. I always say go for a veranda. We have two categories, upper deck and middle deck. This allows you to step out to a full balcony, sit outside in the sitting area, enjoy the views. There's always something to see on the rivers, and they're just wonderful. Still a nice size of a stateroom based on river cruises, 205 square footage. On every category, you will have a full king size bed that will be splitting into two twin beds per request. If you want those separated, you can request that. Counter space, there's a mini fridge in every stateroom, TV, plenty of storage space for your luggage and your belongings. Wi-Fi is included, power outlets, and some of my favorite features in the bathrooms, you have heated floors, walk-in showers, anti-fog mirrors, really everything to be very comfortable on the ships. And last thing, just to point it out, since the bottle of wine out there in the veranda looks so great, we don't charge corkage fees on Viking, and there's a reason behind it. Many of our guests will be excited about visiting wine regions of Europe, and they want to purchase the local wines from the winemakers that we just met. So absolutely, you should do that. We encourage that for our guests. We don't charge a corkage fee. You can just bring on any alcohol, wine, cocktail, spirits, not cocktail, spirits that you purchase locally, and we won't charge you a corkage fee. So no need to sneak on the alcohol on Viking. We're happily going to cork it for you. Okay, and between those two categories, there's a French balcony category, which is a sliding door that opens. There's no step out balcony. The entry level category will be the standard. So this is for those of you that think, I'm going to be on a river cruise, and I'm planning on not spending too much time in my stateroom. I'm okay with the standard category. It is going to be at the water level, the main level, with a high window. So you still get some views, of course, sunlight and a view, but as you can see, it's not much. However, you still get the amenities, the same inclusions. So if you're comfortable with this stateroom category, you absolutely will have a great time on a river ship as well. Standards, verandas, and then the suites. Okay, so that kind of covers the Viking ships and the experience overall. Let's get into the geography, right? And where do we go? You have the map here of Europe. That's where river cruising, as many of you know it, started as a travel experience. We have Portugal, Spain, many regions in France, the Rhine, the Danube through Central Europe, all the way to the Black Sea. You can do 8-day cruises 1 week, up to 23-day cruises with Viking River vessels. And then we have some exotics to offer as well: Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia, Egypt, Mississippi, and don't have it up here, but India. We're going to India in 2028. So very exciting destinations, but the focus has always been in Europe. The most popular itinerary, if you've never done a river cruise and you are thinking my experience has to be those videos that I watched on the commercials and the castles on the hills, you might be looking for the Rhine getaway. This is your Amsterdam to Basel, Switzerland, 8 days, and it can be taken in either direction. We turn the ships around 1 week. They go down the river. The next week they go up the river. There's really no difference in what you get to experience, just the order in which you see the ports, right? You see the same cities. Here's the map of that program. It is our #1 program, selling program every year here at Viking. We have quite a few river ships going up and down the river. The season starts in March, middle of March, runs through Christmas markets through December every year. And the itinerary is basically the same. Just obviously depending on the season that you're going, you will see a little bit of different things. But Amsterdam down to Basel, Switzerland. Now that I have this map up here, I do want to point out before and after your cruise, you can add hotel extensions. With the Rhine, you are very close to Lake Lucerne. You can go even to Lake Como, Lake Maggiore, and quite a few other destinations. We have a train through the Alps experience as a pre or post extension with this program. So you can go for the river cruise for 1 week, but you can certainly extend a few extra days and get a little bit more time in those destinations. Highlights with the Rhine getaway. Amsterdam, the Netherlands, of course, you're going to start or end your cruise here. You're right in the city center, which is the beautiful thing about river cruising. You're just right in the middle of those beautiful cities. So just steps away from all the action. We do only spend embarkation day here in Amsterdam with this program. I recommend that you try to arrive early to Amsterdam if you want to spend more time there and really get to enjoy that city. Kinderdijk, the village of windmills, where we offer electronic bike tours through the windmills. We have a windmill experience. We also have kayaking experience. And those are just a few of the options that you'll have here in the Rhine, Kinderdijk. Oh, there's the e-bike tour. Cologne, you are docking right by the city center, 5-minute walk to the Gothic Cathedral, which is the only building that was not destroyed during World War II in Cologne. And you get to see some great behind the scenes local life like Kolsch beer, sausages, sauerkraut experiences, World War II history experiences here out of Cologne will be available as well. This is the iconic picture that everyone thinks about when you are viewing a river cruise marketing piece. The castles on the hills. We cruise the Middle Rhine with all the history. During the afternoon, we ask our guests to enjoy their verandas or go up to the sun deck. And just as we are cruising, our program director will do a commentary of what we are seeing along the river with those beautiful castles. So that's the Middle Rhine. Rudensheim, another really beautiful village and city with some great cafes and restaurants right in the Rhine Valley with some great Riesling wines and some great tours out of this city. Here's a great shot of what you get to see in Rudensheim. Just very, very walkable, very lively. We spend the overnight here to enjoy that evening in Rudensheim. Riesling wines, of course, if you love wines, that's a great experience here on the Rhine. And even in Strasbourg, which is part of France, right at the border of Germany, we have access to do wine tasting to the Alsace region of France, which is some great wine producing region as well. So history, wine, shopping as well, fantastic here in Strasbourg. Then we get to Breisach, and this is a highlight because you get to access the Black Forest in Germany. One of my highlights when I did the Rhine cruise was an e-bike tour through the Black Forest. We rode for about 3.5 hours with quite a few stops, including a market visit with Black Forest cake. And then at the end, we stopped in a local family's farmhouse where we got to break bread and hear about the history of the Black Forest through food and some schnapps as well and honey. So it was a great way to experience the Black Forest and definitely one of those highlights that people look forward to on the Rhine. Marksburg Castle, which is the only castle that has never been destroyed along the Rhine. We have that included visit out of Koblenz. Breisach again, and ending in Basel, Switzerland, which is, of course, right in the border where Switzerland, France, and Germany meet. Great multicultural city. and we stopped our cruise here, we can extend to Lake Lucerne or to the Alps. So that's your 8-day cruise. On the Rhine getaway, we offer the same program during the Christmas market. So every port that we visit, you'll have some fantastic Christmas markets to enjoy as well. And here are just some of the extensions that I was mentioning. Amsterdam, the Hague in Amsterdam is also very popular. Lake Como, Swiss Alps on the scenic train option, which is very popular with our Rhine getaway, especially during the spring and the summer. It's becoming sold out almost every sailing. So we have quite a few options to extend your cruise on the Rhine. Okay, moving on to another specially selected cruise from Maddie. She thought there might be some great interest here, so we'll go over the Bordeaux cruise. If you love wine, this is the ultimate river cruise for wine lovers, right? It's an 8-day Bordeaux to Bordeaux, so it's a round trip river cruise. It does kind of touch 3 different rivers, the Gironde, the Dordogne, and the Garonne rivers. Now, Bordeaux, it's in a great location. Even some of the bigger, the smaller ocean ships, which are bigger ships, can access Bordeaux. And we spent a week just visiting all the different wine regions of Bordeaux, which is fantastic. I was pleasantly surprised when I was there that it's not just the red, bold Bordeaux. You can have some fantastic different types of wines here. Even the Sauternes, the sweet wines, are fantastic here. But what a better way to learn about a country and a destination than through wine and food. So get ready to maybe gain a few pounds after you come back from this wonderful cruise with the wine and the food. Bordeaux, it reminds me of Barcelona when I was there, just because right by the water, great architecture, great art, very accessible to where our ship is. So you can just get off the ship. We spend essentially 3 full days total in Bordeaux. Then we go into each one of those regions, right? And what's great about it is you'll be learning, meeting the local winemakers, having their wine, having food with them, and of course, learning through their eyes about that destination, that region of France. So some Sauternes wines, the sweet wines. There's also a special truffle hunting experience. So great food, like I mentioned before, in Libourne and Saint-Emilion. Oh, here we go. We got to the Sauternes wines. Very similar to the port wines in Portugal. Out of Bourges, France, you get to have a sweet wine, Sauternes wines in this part of the world, which were fantastic. Now there's a lot of history as well here. You get to visit Blaye, which is a great citadel right by the channel entry, and it's it takes you back to the medieval times to see the fortress, the citadel, and just learn about the history of that region in France. And then you come back to Bordeaux. Now, I don't think I had maybe this is it. I'm sorry. This is the cognac. We do have one tour that is very popular, going to Cadillac, that will give us access to the cognac experience. So we have a cognac experience tasting here out of that port in Bordeaux. So that's 1 week cruise. You can also extend, just like the one before, Paris, right before you head out to Bordeaux, or after, you can have that extension in Paris. The Loire Valley, 3 nights, are just one of the, or 2 of the few options that we have available before or after that cruise. Same season as the Rhine. We operate from March through the end of November is really when we are in Bordeaux. There are not Christmas market seasons here in the Bordeaux region, so we don't offer that for Bordeaux, but we do cruise the entire the entire season, March through November. Okay, so those are just a few. I think I pointed out a few of the other destinations. Of course, we are here to answer questions, but I wanted to cover just for those of you interested in maybe planning your river cruise experience or your next ocean cruise experience with Viking, there are some great promotions. We call it the spring sale. They are reduced air promotions, cruise fares, and oftentimes we give you up to free air promotions as well. With only $25 deposits, you can secure those promotions. The second promo also includes your shipboard credit that could be added value for you to your shore excursions. You can purchase you can purchase the beverage package as well. So you have a choice. You have the choice of up to $1,000 shipboard credit per couple, or the choice to have your spirits beverage package, which is your beverage package, make it all inclusive, in addition to your gratuities. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. Your tips and your beverage package can be included on the promotion for this month, or you get the choice of more shipboard credit. So those are available for the month of April through the end of the month. Maddie, I don't know if you wanted to add anything on these promotions. I know sometimes they might get a bit confusing, but you're the expert, so.
Absolutely. Just to touch a little bit on the free, up to free international airfare, just to clarify on that, some of the routes that they sail do come with the free international airfare. But if you're wanting to sail one of the routes that does not include the free international airfare, you'll still receive a discount with any of the major airlines. So that is something very unique to Viking, and something that is very cool that they offer. That is the economy class ticket, and through Viking we can also upgrade that. So that's not going to be a one shoe fits all for everybody, but that is something that they offer.
Yeah, great point, Maddie. And this is where Maddie will come in and help you out and work with our Viking Air team to make sure you're happy with your air schedules. But like Maddie mentioned, this is how we incentivize and give value to our guests and encourage you to try our cruises through those savings and the great value that we give you through the flights with our contracts with all the major airlines. So thank you for pointing that out, Maddie.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. One more thing, if you don't mind that I add real quickly.
yeah, of course.
If you already do have an existing booking with Viking as well, that is something that you would like to work with an advisor on, you can reach out to me and I can take over that booking and advise you through the cruise itself, even if you have already booked with Viking independently. And that will also
Yeah,
go for any of the spring sale, and the Virtuoso benefits will then also be applied.
yeah, which is a great point, and I want to make sure that we touch on that, Maddie. I often in my line of work I get asked, what's the benefit of using a travel advisor versus going to Viking Direct? And the number one thing I say is what you just gave them, which is your knowledge and service. Through Montecito Village Travel, through Prescription Travel, you also give them extra amenities, so you will get the same or better deals. And on top of that, some great amenities as well, and the expert that will be advocating for you working with Viking directly. So I always say, yes, book with Viking, but then bring it over to your favorite travel advisor to make sure that they are keeping those eyes and making sure everything looks correct on that reservation. Which brings up to the last point. Whenever we do these gatherings and nice little meetings, a travel partner like Maddie and Prescription Travel can offer extra amenities. For the next 2 weeks, if you do decide to take advantage of the promotions I mentioned before, you can also add an extra shipboard credit through Maddie and Prescription Travel. So that's available for the next 2 weeks if you do decide to reserve something for. By the way, we are open through 2028 voyages at this point, so you can reserve your cruise for the next 3 years essentially. Um, anyway, so thank you so much. If there are questions, I know Paul, you might have some questions for me, so I'll make sure that I can address them.
Yeah, with the international travel, I mean that's a huge benefit. That's from anywhere in the world, and like anywhere in the United States at least.
Yeah, all the major gateways will be included as part of our Viking Air contracts, obviously to the destinations that where we're going to start our cruises, right? So it's a huge benefit. In addition to that, if you decide that you want to take advantage of the Viking Air promotion, but you're going a few days early on your own or a few weeks early, you can take advantage of the same promotions up to 30 days before travel or 30 days after your cruise. So you have a window of time where you can still take advantage of the Viking Air promotions. We only charge a nominal fee of $100 per person. We call it a deviation fee, but that is still a huge value for the savings, especially looking at current pricing on air.
Well, you're not kidding. Prices really gone up the past couple of weeks. So I think that you had the price on the screen for that particular cruise.
Yeah, this is a starting point, right? This is on the typically the $22.99 that you see here is going to be a 1 week cruise during probably the shoulder season, so March, early April, or November dates. And this is a great point, Paul, because peak season for river cruising, just because of the weather and maybe not having as many tourists in those cities, is the spring. So right in the middle of May, May is a peak month for river cruises. And again, in the beginning of the fall, September is peak season. So you will find higher prices during those 2 months. So the $22.99 during those 2 months might be more like $3,500 per person to start from.
That's not as big of a bump up as I was expecting. Yeah. So it's kind of like $2,300 and up would be a reasonable expectation on the price.
Correct.
And you'd mentioned you can book 3 years ahead. So I can actually book for 2029 and have the airfare. Do you book the airfare that far in advance, or do you wait until it gets closer to book the flights?
No, great question. So you secure your promotion and your pricing that far in advance. Currently, we are open through 2028. The only 2029 is India that is available, but you can essentially book for 2028 with a reduced deposit of $25 per person. So only $50 is what's required to make that reservation. You secure your cruise fare. You secure your lower airfare. I will tell you, and I'll be very frank, we do not have free air promotions that far out right now. So it will be a reduced air. It won't be completely free. But most importantly, your cruise fare is going to be much lower. We do raise prices as we get closer to the voyage, right? So prices will go up the closer in you are to the travel date. But you're correct. You can secure the promotion that far out. Air typically does not become available with the airlines until 310 days before travel. That's just a general rule. So we won't have your air yet. 310 days is when we'll have access to it, and that's when Maddie will guide you and help you with, what are the best options for you.
Got it. Well, India fascinates me. I've never heard of. Is there a river cruise in India?
Yeah, the Ganges can be sailed, but we are not doing at Viking. We're not doing the Ganges. We're doing the Brahmaputra River, which is a beautiful part of India. More scenic part. We're doing 1 week cruises or cruising on a very small vessel, only 82 guests, and then we're packaging it with land. So we do the triangle, Delhi, Jaipur, and Agra, combined with the river cruise. Yeah, it's exciting, but I won't get you too excited about it. We launched it about 6 months ago, and it sold out in 5 hours. So we're waiting for new dates to be released soon, hopefully.
Wow.
It's a very popular destination, yeah. And we're very lucky that our loyal Viking guests also are just waiting for the new destination to be launched to book it.
Do you have many other cruises in Asia?
For ocean cruises, we do have some Great Japan, Southeast Asia. For river, Vietnam and Cambodia on the Mekong is the only other river cruise in Asia. But we're ocean, we have quite a few, Komodo, Bali, we have Japan, China. Well, we don't really do proper China, we do Hong Kong, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia,
Wow, there's quite a
Malaysia.
few.
Yeah, we have quite a few. Hmm.
Um, you mentioned your loyal customers that bought out the India really quickly. Do you have? I know some people just refuse to cruise with anybody else besides Viking because their experience has been so good. Did you have how do you account for that if you're able to at all? Do they get a reward after so many cruises or anything like that?
That's always that's a topic of conversation here internally at Viking, Paul. Our chairman and founder, his philosophy is we try to do everything that the other cruise lines are not doing. So be opposite of what the industry is doing. And we don't believe in that loyalty programs and tie our guests to a program. We want them to come back because they love the experience, right? So
And they do.
we do give everyone once you try Viking, you get a nice past guest discount, but we don't give you a program. The more you take, the more amenities you receive. Everyone is a VIP here at Viking. We want our guests to feel very special in a new destination every time they come back on board. I will tell you that very few chances where we have the opportunity for upgrades. We do definitely look at how many sailings past guests have taken, and if there's an opportunity for upgrade, they do take priority. But it's not official.
Right.
We don't put it in writing. It's not something that we have having as a program to bring people back in, right? We want them to come back because they love the experience and how great take care of how our crew takes care of them when they come on board.
Is there a typical ratio? My guess is probably not, that it varies a lot from cruise to cruise. But in terms of how much time you spend on the water versus in a port, like the Bordeaux cruise, it looked like a pretty small area, but it's a picture, and I don't know how what the dimensions of the graph was, but from that one, my guess was it was a lot of time on land. Am I right on that?
Yes, that is typical of Viking as well. We try to spend as much time in the destination so our guests will get off the ship, especially for river cruises, right? There's not a full process of going through customs, through and security. With a river cruise, it's a floating hotel. You get off the ship, step off, and you're right in the city, right? So Bordeaux, a lot of time, I'll tell you that every day you spend 12 to 15 hours in port every day, right? Like where you can get off the ship. We try to do the sailing and the cruising part during the evenings so that we wake up to a new port and we have a full day in the city. Same for the Rhine. The Rhine is very similar, lots of ports. I think that most of the river cruises will be that way. For ocean cruises, we try to do the same. Our Mediterranean has full days in the cities. Places like Asia, you might have to spend one day at sea, right? When you are cruising, from Japan to Hong Kong, or Australia, New Zealand is another one. So it all depends on the itineraries once you get to the ocean cruises.
Did you have exercise facilities on most of the ships?
On the river ships, we do not have exercise facilities. We used to have them with the older ships, and we found out very quickly that our guests were not utilizing them because they were ready to go at 8:30 in the morning after their breakfast to explore Budapest and Vienna and Paris. So river cruising specifically, those extra venues were not being used by our guests. So we decided intentionally not to have those venues. If you do need to exercise, we do have a nice walking path on the sun deck. The rivers have walking paths along the river as well. Um, and many of our guests, what I do is I go for the early run in the morning before the day starts, kind of get a lay of the land in the port, go have my breakfast, change, and be ready for the shore excursions. Um, or we have quite a few active uh, shore excursions as well. You can do hikes up to the castle, right? Instead of taking the motor coach up to the castle, you can do a full-on hike and with the local guide. We do bicycle tours as well with experts in the destination. So there are quite a few more active experiences and still give you the taste of the destination as part of your workout, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. That makes sense.
Yeah. On our ocean ships, though, Paul, we do have the full fitness center and spa facilities. So that's a bit different on the
That sounds
ocean
perfect.
ships.
I mean, you spend so much time in port on the river cruises, yet you don't want to stay on board and exercise. You'd rather jog along the beautiful river that you've docked at. That makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
Do you have any
in here? Quick. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, Gail.
I was going to say, I'll add in here. I think Mario knows this. My first river cruise was actually a Viking cruise. And this was when you were actually in country in China. And it was absolutely amazing. We did the Yangtze, which hopefully we will eventually get back to. I can say from experience that it is really done very well. It's you are active throughout the entire day. You have experiences that you won't really encounter elsewhere. And I also wanted to briefly mention when Mario was talking about just the time at port and the amazing guides that they have. It's so awesome to be able to go into a country you don't know anyone at all, but you immediately. Our guide was named Jing. I still know Jing. Jing was our land tour part of it. So we did a land tour. It was combined with the river cruise part of it. And I will say, we still email with Jing. And that's the kind of thing too that you don't realize you're going to do is you actually make friends. Some of the people, I was just beginning my career in the travel industry at that point in time. Of course, this has been a while back. And when I took that cruise, I was like, this is for me. This is the industry for me. And the people that I was on that cruise with, they followed my career and they actually work with me now. It's been really amazing to have that experience, just the level of trust and service. And it's truly because of the environment that Viking puts you in. You truly make friends with the people that you're around, and it's absolutely amazing to have the experience.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Gail. Thank you for that. I think that the one thing that we cannot put in a brochure or, in writing is the fact that it's a well-oiled operation. Everything's kind of well planned out for our guests. There's a plan B, C, or D if necessary as well. And we have the resources, right? The moment you get off that airplane, you have a smiling face with the Viking logo shirt and your sign that says Paul, don't worry, we're gonna take care of you in this great destination and take you to the ship, and you're going to have a great time. You can just relax and enjoy the ride. Any other questions I can help with?
With the smaller ships, do you have much trouble with turbulence in the ocean where you can't dock or you have to stay at sea longer? Is that, I've heard that the smaller ships might have more trouble with that than the bigger ships.
Typically, but the ships have the newest technology nowadays. Our ships on ocean, and I think you're referring to the ocean, of course. On the rivers, by the way, no motion sickness. You can barely feel any movement at all, which is great for anyone that is sensitive to motion. On the ocean ships, we have, U-tanks, we have stabilizers, so we make it very comfortable. We do try to go to destinations with the best weather during that time in season, right? Our itineraries are closer to the port. We're not spending too much time at sea. So we haven't had too much of an issue with weather conditions. Of course, that's something that you cannot predict. So we go off on and make those decisions as we learn weather, water patterns when we get closer to the sailing. But this is where Plan B, C, or D with a reputable company that has all the resources coming handy. If we ever had to make changes, adjustments to an itinerary, we make the best out of it. We have, gone above and beyond for our guests to make sure they're enjoying their vacation as much as possible while keeping them safe, which is important.
So is there a place where you can go to see all the cruises you have scheduled?
Yeah. What I will say is please speak to your wonderful travel advisor. She is going to get you all the information, but we do have, you have more interest in other itineraries, she can certainly help you with it. With just a few recommendations, we didn't touch too much ocean today, but British Isles Explorer is our number one. London to Bergen, British Isles for ocean cruises these days. And we have quite a few Mediterranean cruises as well if you want to try it for the first time on the ocean side. But Maddie, you might have some homework to do some follow-up with all the itineraries that we have available.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And anybody who's watching that is interested in learning more about Viking and specifically has interest in going to a specific region or going on their first river cruise, reach out to me and we can schedule a time and do a one-on-one call and make sure that what you want is what I can make happen with Viking. Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining and for listening. I think we learned a lot today, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to work with Viking and to bring Viking to people in our clientele. So please reach out with anything you have. Any last comments from Mario or Gail?
Thank you for attending. Thank you, Mario. As always, thank you for hosting. You are absolutely amazing, and you make our life so much easier. And with our clients, with what you are able to provide, especially the extra amenities and that layered onto it, it really makes working with you guys such a privilege and a pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Gail. No, Maddie, thank you so much for the opportunity. Keep me posted. We're here to take care of you and your clients. Paul, thanks for joining us. And yeah, keep me posted if you need anything else. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for setting this up, Matt. This was great. Thanks, Mario. Thanks, Gail.
Thank you.
Bye, Paul. Nice meeting you.
Same here.